What's up, y'all? It's Dr. Paul with a CGC unboxing video for Liberty Hill Comics, the first of 2024. This is where I share my passion and over 40 years experience comic book collecting, investing, and conservation with you. Frequent viewers of the channel know that I took the opportunity of attending the Collectors Summit in Dallas, Texas at Heritage Auctions to submit some comic books to CGC. Among the submissions were 2 comics that I submitted to the Vintage tier. The Vintage tier is for comic books published before 1975, but with a declared value of less than $400. The 2 comic books I submitted to this tier were my conserved copy of America's Best Comics number 12 from 1945 and my friend Tony's copy of Hulk 180 from October 1974. Both have been featured in video series on this channel, so they should be familiar to regular viewers of Liberty Hill Comics. Yes, that's what I wanted to see. Up first is America's Best Comics number 12 in Conserved 4.0. I'm thrilled with this grade. This book came to me as a 1.5 restored copy that I purchased off of eBay for $130 plus taxes and shipping. We did an extensive 12-part conservation video series on this comic book, in which I showed you how I evaluate a new comic book conservation project, how to remove glue from comic book pages, how to clean and deacidify each page, how to perform archival tear seals, and ultimately how to reassemble the entire book and submit it to CGC. If you missed that series and want to watch it, follow the link in the upper right corner. Episode 13 is the summary video for those of you that prefer the Cliff's Notes version. I was confident in my work on this book, but it's always nice to see that a qualified, independent third party agrees that my work was done to a professional standard with recognized archival materials. Glue removal is tricky, so ensuring this book did not receive a restored label was never guaranteed. I didn't go overboard with attempting to bleach this book because I knew that the remaining flaws were going to limit the overall grade to the 3.5 to 4.0 range, and I didn't want to needlessly diminish the permanence of the paper or risk a restored grade due to bleaching. I was less confident in the grade that would be awarded to this book. I was thinking it could come reasonably back anywhere between a 3.0 and a 4.0, so this is the very top of the range for my estimate. I put up the survey for visitors to my Liberty Hill Comics community page to vote, and although 4.0 conserved was the top vote getter, thanks for the vote of confidence, there was a bimodal vote, and the second highest vote getter was for 3.5 restored. I guess this sort of work is still very polarizing, even for the niche audience I have here on YouTube. Thanks to everyone who voted. I appreciate your participation. America's Best Comics number 12 is a very rare Golden Age comic book with only 16 universal copies in the CGC census, 1 restored copy, and now just the 1 conserved copy from yours truly. It's one of the only covers to feature the entire lineup of Pyroman, Black Terror, American Eagle, and Doc Strange on the cover, and of course features the incomparable Alex Schomburg, one of the most sought after of Golden Age cover artists. So, how about fair market value? Well, with only 1 conserved copy in the census, who's to say? But I've been using the rule of thumb that a conserved copy should be worth about 2/3 to 3/4 of what a universal copy in the same grade is worth. We're in luck because as rare as this book is, a 4.0 universal copy did trade hands in the last 12 months at a Heritage auction for $660 plus shipping and taxes and with cream to off-white pages, and our copy has off-white to white pages. Given that, I think we can confidently place the fair market value of our copy in the $400 to $500 range. With books this rare, as long as you're a patient seller, there are always buyers, especially for an Alex Schomburg World War II cover. So, I think we did very well indeed with our initial $150 purchase and our $50 investment in CGC grading. Also note that if you want to take the other side of the argument and make a case for this book having a max value of $400, you can. I knew this going in, and I know CGC only bumps you up a value tier if you are well over the tier limit. This is how I got this book graded in the vintage tier for about $50 all in, rather than the high value tier for about $90 all in. This one goes in the win column for sure. We saved a golden age treasure for the next generation and created some equity doing it. Now let's check out the grade CGC assigned to Tony's copy of Hulk number 180 with the first appearance of the Wolverine in his original maize and blue outfit in the last panel. Yes! Looks like we got the best outcome we could have hoped for with this one as well. Recall that Tony left us this book as a possible conservation candidate, and we did an evaluation and decided that actually it had some structural issues that were going to limit it to grading at a 4.5 to possible 5.0 conserved, but that there were risks associated with conservation and that the fair market value of a universal 4.0 or 4.5 was greater than a conserved 5.0 anyway. So, we did a standard dry, clean, and press on this book for Tony and sent it in for grading. I did a short 3-video series on how to make this assessment and the work I performed, along with the submission strategy video. If you missed those videos and want to check them out, I'll provide a link in the upper right corner. So, how did we do with our grade estimates? I estimated this one at either a 4.0 or 4.5 universal when I completed the work and submitted it. Viewers of the channel that participated in the survey on my Liberty Hill Comics community page showed once again we have some of the most astute viewers. The majority of you picked the correct 4.5 universal grade that CGC assigned to this book, although we got at least a few votes for the lowest and highest guesses I provided of 3.5 and 5.0 respectively. There are over 7,000 universal copies of this Bronze Age key in the CGC census, with a median grade of 7.5. Although supply is high, there is a lot of demand for this book owing to the Wolverine's popularity. Good thing for Marvel that editorial made a last-minute decision to call him the Wolverine instead of the original proposal, the Buckeye. Fair market value today is between $600 and $650 depending on the last sale. The record price paid for this book in this grade is an incredible $1,320 set during the pandemic. I happen to know Tony paid around $300 for this little gem because I advised him on the purchase. So, after CGC fees, I'm sure he'll be very pleased with nearly doubling his equity here. Also of note, we kept Tony's submission fees at about $50 all in by submitting to this tier with a maximum value of $400, even though our estimate was for a fair market value of around $600. We could have kicked this to the high value tier and paid about $90 all in for the grading. The only downside to our approach is that if CGC would have lost the book, or if it was lost in shipping, we would only get the declared value of $400 back. But Tony's investment was small enough that even this would have been a small win. So again, being smart about the tier cutoff and knowing that CGC isn't going to bump you up to the next tier unless you are egregiously undervaluing your book worked to our advantage. That wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed this CGC unboxing. We did pretty good with our grade estimates and had no surprises here with both books coming back at the high end of our estimates, and we nearly doubled the equity on both of these comic books, even in this continuing bear market in collectibles. I appreciate all the views and comments and hope everyone had a wonderful holiday season and wish everyone a healthy and prosperous 2024. I myself spent New Year's Eve and the first day of the new year in bed, suffering from a cold, which you may still be able to hear in my voice. But I'm on the mend, and 2024 is going to be a great year for the channel, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with y'all. Coming up soon, we have a few more unboxings, including our reholder submission to CGC with the Strange Tales number 110 and 6.0 and 3 Golden Age pedigree books, and I'll be starting a new conservation project in the very near future. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Until next time, take care of one another.